Well, welcome everybody to this Making Goals, right? And I'm Evgenia, your success mindset coach who helps women entrepreneurs replace this stress with confidence. Welcome to this laser focus series where I'm talking about some tips and tricks about the goals and how to set up your 2024 for success. So I'm so glad that you're here today with me. And this goal achievement stuff is super personal for me because, well, I used to be terrible at following through. And I don't know about you, but every January, I dried up this long, ambitious to-do list, feeling so inspired. But then, almost like clockwork, by February or March, if I got lucky, I'd see those dusty, untouched goals sitting there and just sink inside. Ah, sounds familiar, maybe, right? I knew there had to be something major missing for me between getting all jazzed about the big ideas and actually doing the work. Especially when I learned that despite things like vision boards, only 9% of people in the United States actually accomplish their New Year resolutions. Can you imagine? Only 9%. And 23% of people quit their resolutions by the end of the first week alone. So, what's going on? Why do so many goals die by the end of January? Well, I'm here to tell you I finally cracked the code and the two things that successful people have ingrained that most of us don't. And when I applied that in my life, achieving goals completely transformed for me. You know, those people who seem annoyingly upbeat about their goals, still making progress in March when most others have thrown in the towel. Well, today I'm basically handing you the secret, the recipe for resolution and goal success. I am breaking down the exact techniques that allow some goal setters to stay motivated all year long, while most people goals fade out fast by the January. Sound good? Here we go. So after years of failed goals and resolutions, I was like, well, enough is enough. There had to be a better way. And I started researching all sorts of goal setting approaches and personal development things. And I looked through some studies about habits of successful people. And you know what? The first thing, they always know their why. They know their why, like what emotionally fuels them to pursue goals in the first place. And second, they plan out the how they like action to get there. And let me tell you, when I started applying what I learned, it was like everything just clicked. And I suddenly knew how to turn my biggest wishes into doable steps and how to stay committed. And for the first time ever, I carried resolutions through not just January, but the full year. And that's were not just new little tools. My whole mindset around goals transformed. And that's what I'm here to share with you all today. So you also have it too. And let's start with the why, the key to unlocking real motivation. Your brain loves meaning, right? So linking goals to why releases feel-good chemicals, dopamine, that keep you actively pursuing milestones. Why is that inner this matters because voice? Have any of you struggled pinpointing the emotional reason behind what goals you set? I'm guessing you've made goals plan before, right? But had motivation fade once it's time to put them into action, right? When we set goals, our brains demands details on the expected rewards. So issue come when we plan only says when the plan only says what you want and when you want, and our mind asks, why should I care? So, without understanding the emotional purpose behind the goal, progress stalls fast, even with clear steps. And I'm guessing many of you can relate to goals losing steam fast, right? Just think back. Can you remember resolutions or plans or goals where at first you felt so pumped up and eager to achieve them, but somehow that motivation always seems to fade out a few weeks later. The key is linking how plans directly to why, which is your passion. Now, if you only focus on how action plans without first stepping into your why, the meaning behind your goals, working toward them starts to feel draining and totally lifeless. Because after a few weeks of effort for seemingly but no emotional reward, your motivation tanks. And without purpose that fuels you, even the most organized roadmaps feel exhausting versus exciting, and progress stalls. And I've seen this happen to so many entrepreneurs and creatives. They have huge visions, but dive into doing without connecting to why it deeply matters for them. So let me give you an example. Say your website for empowering women gains traction, but you get caught up just producing more and more content to keep growing. But suddenly you realize, well, my why, my original passion for uplifting people is missing here. So tasks feel like a grind versus fun, and you burn out. And engagement and income drop even with more posts. Ouch. And here's the fix. Just remind yourself what lit you up initially. And you may journal these questions. Why did I start this? And answer this. What stories bring me joy? Who do I most want to help? Getting recentered in your why, which is purpose, fuels you to keep sharing from an authentic place, from who you are, from where you are. Does it make sense? So getting centered again in your why gives you the passion and the purpose that went missing. Take some time recalling what originally sparked your excitement when you began. Tap back into that because it provides the motivational fuel to push through. Because here's what happens otherwise. You meticulously map out all the step-by-step how action plans, but with no deeply felt why, which is tied to the goal. Soon that mapping feels like a total drag. And if you're not just up with purpose and just forcing the how, that quickly drains you and it turns into lifeless work versus fulfilling effort tied to what you really value. And your mind starts doubting, why am I grinding so hard here anyway? Your enthusiasm sharply drops off and you inevitably stalls out or abandon ship even with the most neatly laid plans. So just be honest. Have past goals derailed because you lacked the why behind your how steps? Maybe you outline detailed plans and steps, but missing the emotional purpose, linking it all together, left you unmotivated. And I sure know that feeling too. And the fix is igniting motivation with why first, and then channeling it effectively into how, which is action planning. So together that combo is key. If goals constantly fade out fast for you, I can almost guarantee they are not sufficiently linked to what you really value deep down. And make sense why that resonance matters so much. And that's why money goals in some cases are not motivational, as you value something which is deeper. Okay, so we just covered a ton about how unlocking your why to drive motivation and having clear how plans can help you accomplish even huge and challenging goals, right? But I also know that taking the concept we discussed into reality likely feels still kind of hard to pin down. Even with some awesome advice and tools and translating ambition into actions is where most people get stuck. And you know why? Because executing goals needs consistent focus and grit that often fades out fast without support. And that consistent progress is especially hard if you struggle getting clearly on the best why for your dreams or mapping the details of how to get there. But once you nail those pieces, yeah, remember, they both work perfectly. And that momentum gets unstoppable.